Ice cream cones. Hey, can they violate your Fourth Amendment rights? Well, let's take a look at this situation. In Halifax, Virginia, you had a very active, proactive police force that wanted to improve the relationships between police and the everyday citizens. As we know, there's been lots of instances occurring in the country with regard to police force, use of force, and a number of protests that have developed. Well, in Halifax, Virginia, the police department wanted to try and improve basically the relationship it had with everyday people. So it started a program whereby officers would stop a car and then cite the driver and the various residents of that car, the passengers of that car, for driving without an ice cream cone, and they would proceed to hand out ice cream cones to the driver and the passengers in the vehicle. Okay, well, it seems like a pretty simple thing. Up jumps Orin Kerr. Orin Kerr is a professor at George Washington Law School. And Orin Kerr, as a professor, said, well, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. And what happens when you have a police car pull over a vehicle? Well, basically, that's a seizure of that vehicle, because now the owner of that vehicle, the driver of that vehicle, whomever is in control of that vehicle, cannot drive away. They have to pay attention to and adhere to the directive of the police officer. And the police officer has seized that vehicle for all intents and purposes. And you know what? Unless that officer has probable cause to stop that vehicle, that stopping of the vehicle is an unconstitutional seizure of property and therefore is unlawful. So what can be done to prevent the Halifax Police Department from passing out ice cream cones? Well, some organization, some individual may want to seek a restraining order that prevents them from going on and doing this goodwill work that they have been attempting to do. Okay. Well, once again, we see that we in the U.S. are extraordinarily privileged individuals. We have lots of freedoms, lots of liberties. And in this instance, we see whereby some act of goodwill, in fact, does violate your Fourth Amendment rights against unreasonable search and seizure. And the individual who may bring an enjoining action against the Halifax Police Department may also be an individual or organization that will then seek to bring an enjoining action later against that guy who shows up on everybody's rooftop around Christmas time and hands out gifts and prevents Santa Claus from doing that. You know, while we have all of these rights, all of these various protections, to paraphrase Mark Twain, America is a place where you have the right to say anything, and most Americans have the good sense not to. I'm David Allen. We bring you this case, so we bring you cases every week so you understand how the law works.